Hello everyone, welcome to another movie review. I just got done seeing Scream 5, just Scream, I guess. As usual, I will not talk any spoilers until the end of the video, so don't worry about that. I know this is like it's a Scream movie, so you don't want to know any specifics. Trust me, I wouldn't want to hear any specifics either, believe me. So real quick, I will go over how I feel about the Scream series, okay? So, you're gonna think this is crazy, but I really love Scream 3, okay? I know that's wild because that's everybody's least favorite Scream movie. But it was, I think, the first horror movie I ever watched from beginning to end at a very young age. It was on TBS one night. Yeah, TBS, if you can believe it. I was way too young, and for some reason I thought it'd be a good idea to watch the movie, and Jesus Christ, it scared me to death. And you're probably thinking, Scream 3, man, you didn't even watch the first two. I mean, the movie kind of not necessarily stands on its own, but each Scream movie is kind of its own thing, you know. I mean, it helps to know the previous movies, but yeah. So, anyways, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but yeah, Scream 3, I love that movie. I know everybody hates it, or doesn't hate it, but it's a guilty pleasure, I guess. Wasn't written by Kevin Williamson or anything, so just like this new movie, and yeah, ever since Scream 3, it traumatized me, but then when I got a little bit older, I watched all of them, obviously, and, I remember the time Scream 4 came out, I was in high school, it was my freshman year, and I was excited then, and now, 11 years later, we have another one, so it's there was an 11-year gap between Scream 4 and 3, and now there's another 11-year gap, so, yeah, it's kind of surreal, because I never thought we'd see a Scream 5, especially, ever since Wes Craven, unfortunately, passed away. And the way Scream 4 ended didn't feel like a good conclusion. I mean, the Scream 4 is a great movie. It's just, it didn't feel like a proper way to, send off this franchise, because I never thought we'd get another one. So I was like, Scream 4 is probably the last one, because Wes Craven passed away. So I'm very happy that we got a new movie. And, it was done in good taste, with these new directors. The guys that directed Ready or Not, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it. They did a really good job, I think. They really captured the Scream feel. You can tell it's I don't know, maybe because it's a 2022 brand new film. The last movie was 11 years ago, so maybe there's a bit of a difference there. But in terms of Scream, yeah, it felt like another Scream movie for sure. So they did a great job. The new cast was really good. I need to say though, my biggest complaint with this movie. People were saying this about The Matrix 4, and I didn't see The Matrix 4 because I heard it was bad, and I haven't even seen Matrix 2 or 3 to begin with, so, because I heard those were bad. People were saying Matrix 4 is incredibly meta, and the Scream movies have always been meta, but to a certain point. This movie was very, very meta, in a good sense, because you would hope in this day and age, with how movies are, this movie would be more meta than the previous Scream movies, and it is. But the problem I had was that it was way, way, way too meta. To a point, it was just man, I didn't totally hate that or anything. It's just, it sort of took me out of it at certain points. I'm like, all right, we're getting a little bit too crazy with the meta. The first big meta part involves a group sit down scene. I won't say too much, but that scene was very well done. I thought that was great. That would have been enough if you ask me. Maybe a little bit more after, whatever, sure, but it just kept getting man, some of the lines, but the Scream movies have always been that way. I just thought it was a little bit too extreme for my taste. But honestly, that was my only real issue, was some of the lines, some of the meta lines. It was man, this is really, the way the new cast and the old cast, of course, worked together was really well done, I think. This isn't a spoiler, but other reviews have been talking about how the older characters aren't in it that much, and you know what? It's kind of true, but with a movie like this in this format, it sort of needs to happen that way. And believe it or not, I never thought I'd say this. Ever since they announced the title as just being Scream, I was like, okay, there's something weird about that. There's probably a reason why they're doing that. Maybe they'll not reference why it's called that, in the movie to, be meta. And of course, as you heard, it's very meta. The movie actually made me fine with the title. I can't believe that, because I did not like the title choice. I'm like, why not call it Scream 5? It's not like the 2018 Halloween where that was erasing stuff. You know what I mean? So it sort of had an excuse. I don't mind that one as much. This one, it's literally the fifth movie. It's not erasing anything. Why not just call it Scream 5? And yes, the movie actually, like, I guess persuaded me. Like, okay, this is a good title. I actually kind of prefer it. I never thought I'd say that. So the movie accomplished that, which I will give it big props for, because trust me, I was not a fan of that title when I first heard it. So yeah, the movie, like I said, incredibly meta. So if you're into that stuff, you'll get a real kick out of this. And yeah, like I said, the cast was great. You know, everybody was in it enough in terms of like Dewey and, you know, Sydney and Gale Weathers. You know, they were all great. Like, they all still felt the same, you know, after all these years. Yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. Like, this is sort of, I don't know. This is sort of like what Scream 4 should have been. But then again, I think Scream 4, now having seen this movie, I think Scream 4 is fine the way it is. Because it was nice to get like a nice, I guess you could say, traditional Scream movie with, like, you know, the big three in the main, you know, focus. Whereas in this one, they take a big back seat. So I'm kind of glad Scream 4 wasn't this. But that's sort of like what I wanted back in 2011. You know what I mean? But no, yeah, it was big shoes to fill, because Wes Craven, obviously one of the greatest of all time. But these guys, they did a great job. I mean, you know, I don't know. The characters were okay. You know, none of them are really. I mean, there was a couple that were actually pretty cool. Like, there's a pair of twins in the movie, a brother and a sister. I think they might have been my favorites in terms of like the new characters. They were pretty cool. But other than that, everybody else was just fine. You know, there wasn't really many standouts, to be honest. So yeah, honestly, I'm thinking I might do like a tier list for the Scream movies. There's only 5, but like I might just do it. I think it'll be for a fun video, because I've been not a lifelong Scream fan, but like for a good part of my life, I've really enjoyed the series. Like, it's really good, because there's tons of consistency between all the movies, and you know, not every horror franchise has that. So yeah, I'm a big Scream fan. So it was cool to see a Scream movie in theaters, because back in 2011, I wasn't old enough to see Scream 4. You know, I really wanted to, but I wasn't able to. I had to wait for the Blu-ray of that. So, yeah, I mean, as a rating, I think I'd give this one, honestly, I don't really know. Like I said, that meta stuff was, I don't know. Like, and then I guess I'll touch on it a little bit. So, of course, there's going to be a reveal. I'm not going to spoil anything. There's a reveal of who's behind the mask. And you always, when you watch these movies, you speculate, like, okay, who could it be? And I got to say, I think the movie did a pretty good job, because, you know, as you watch the movie, you're sort of like, okay, maybe it's this person. But then, like, as it goes along, you're like, wait, maybe it's that person. Maybe it's that person. You know what I mean? Like, it kept me guessing. And, you know, like, it's sort of like cheating. It's like, I changed my mind, it's this person. I changed my mind, it's that person. So the movie did a good job, because when the movie started, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's probably this person. And I was totally wrong. But, like, I'm trying to be very vague. So I think the twist is pretty good. That's what I'm trying to say, in terms of the reveal. And then the motive, again, that might be polarizing for people, but I think it makes sense. Yeah, I don't want to say too much. I'll talk about it more in the spoilers. But yeah, as a rating, I'm thinking like 8 out of 10. It felt like it was, something might have been missing. Like, I want to say 8.5, but like, I'm going to go with a solid 8. Yeah, because I kind of had high expectations for this too, because being a huge Scream fan, you know. And plus, big shoes to fill, obviously. So, I'm going to say 8 out of 10, I think. My heart wants to say 8.5, but yeah, it was really good. Like, it was. I didn't totally love it, but it was very solid, I think. And yeah, alright, I think that's all I got to say for non-spoilers. So, go check it out, definitely, if you're a Scream fan. I'm sure you will. And in the comments below, let me know how you rank all the movies. If you've seen all 5, you know, rank all of them in your comments. I think I'm going to do that tier list video. That'd be fun. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to spoilers now. So yeah, here we go. All right, spoiler talk. First thing I want to talk about, I was really pleasantly surprised to see Skeet Ulrich and also Randy's sister appear in the movie. I was not expecting that. That was pretty cool. Nice little surprises there. Oh, and I gotta say, I almost forgot. Big smile on my face when I saw Dead Meat in the movie. Oh my God, I was so happy. Like, There wasn't many people in my theater, but like I was audibly making I was like, oh my god, yeah. Like I wasn't loud, but like you could hear I was amused. Yeah, if you guys don't watch Dead Meat, definitely check them out. If you're horror movie fans, they are one of the best channels out there, just period. And then they're friends with Radio Silence, the guys who directed this movie. So it was cool that they gave them a cameo in this. That was amazing. And it was like a fictional version of them. It like said film talks or something instead of Dead Meat. I forgot what it said, but they were covering Stab 8. It was so funny. Like I said, very meta. Man, there was a big smile on my face when they popped up. I'm so happy for them. But yeah, it makes me hope one day if I ever become like a big star, because they get to be in a Scream movie. Can you imagine that? Like, my dream would be to be in a Chucky movie. Like, if I could be in Chucky season 2 that they're gonna make soon, I would love that, or whatever. You know what I mean? That would be my dream as a horror fan. But they get to be in a fucking Scream movie, which is wild. So I'm so happy for them. Chelsea and James, I love you guys. You're not watching this video, but I love you guys. Big smile on my face. And I gotta say, this isn't a dig at the movie, but the trailer, going into this movie, I knew Dewey was gonna die, because the trailer had that one shot of Gail screaming. After Dewey dies in the movie, Gail she comes running towards the hospital and she's like screaming and somebody holds her back. They had that shot in the trailer and I'm like, oh boy, I know what that is. Like, it wasn't a surprise. So, man, trailers can be great, but trailers can also ruin a movie. And unfortunately, it's sort of the whole time I was like, Dewey's probably going to die. And you know what? Aside from the trailer like annoying me, yes, the movie did take a chance. It did have guts. It actually had stakes. They killed one of the big three. And you know what? That sort of needs to happen by the 5th installment, I guess, after all these years, Like, how many times can these guys survive? Like, I know people had that complaint about Scream 4. And, yeah, like I was hinting at earlier, it would have been, very impactful if one of them died in Scream 4. So, like I said, they did some stuff in this I wish Scream 4 was, but, I'm fine with Scream 4 as it is. Except for the stupid Instagram filter, the soap opera wash over the camera. I don't know. Scream 4 just looks weird. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, man, Dewey's death, that was... And also, a little bit of a nitpick. I didn't like the way his death went, because, okay, I don't mind that the crazy chick killed him, whatever. Gail got her revenge, fucking setting her on fire, which was crazy. It's just, man, they have the killer lying there, knocked out, and then he's like, all right, you guys, go to the elevator. I'm going to go back and shoot him in the head. They all could have stayed together, and he could have shot Ghostface in the head. But then again, I guess you could say the other Ghostface was there. It was, what's his name? What was his name? I forget already. The boyfriend. He's revealed to be one of the killers. Richie, right? Richie? I think it's Richie. Yeah, so he was there as well. So obviously he wouldn't have let Dewey kill her, obviously. So he probably would have intervened and, So I guess that's why they had to do it that way, but it just didn't make sense to me, like why Dewey would, as soon as they knock him out, just kill him right there instead of go to the elevator and then let them leave. I guess he wanted them to get to safety. I understand, but you have the killer knocked out right there. So again, a little bit of a nitpick the way his death was handled, but the actual, death was, man, it was, and he's like, it's an honor, or should I say she, the girl did it. Yeah, man, it was sad. I knew it was going to happen, man. I cried. I did cry when he died. And also when, Sydney was like, there's no way I'm ever stepping foot in Woodsboro again. And I was like, yeah, Dewey's probably going to die, like I think, and that's going to be the reason why she comes back. And you know what? I was right. And again, with the meta stuff, the movie kind of went overboard with that. Like, especially at the end reveal, and they're like, oh, ever since I bought Stu's house and we're going to make the final movie, like, oh my God. Like, okay, I get it. Like, it makes sense, sure, I guess. But, like, it's just a little too much. A little over the top for me. And then, yeah, I mean, what else was there? So, the one surprise I was talking about was Skeet Ulrich. I guess they got Skeet Ulrich to do that, and they actually, like, de-aged him probably. They probably had him shave his beard, like from Riverdale. And then, like, they probably de-aged him, I guess. It was very well done. Like, it looked like he was actually there. Like, from his 1996 self was there, you know. It was pretty good. I liked it. And it's interesting, too, that they had an illegitimate child of Billy Loomis, you know, like they chose to do that story-wise, you know. It was interesting. They sort of like, they didn't humanize Billy, but like they made it to like, he's like encouraging her. He's like, yeah, I'm a good dad, you know, like, you know, I don't know. It was kind of strange. And I didn't mention this because it was sort of, I guess, spoilerish, but I love the way the killers died. Like, it was really good. Like, the boyfriend got stabbed like fucking crazy. He got his throat slit, got shot a bunch of times. And then the chick got set on fire, freaking shot in the head. You know, it was great. And then, you know, Gail was just like, fuck you. And she shot her a bunch of times and she flew into the, you know, the fire. Yeah, it was really, really good, if you ask me. But like I said, I'm sitting on a solid 8 because I had those few nitpicks, and it just felt like something might have been missing. And I liked the little tribute at the end. As soon as the credits started, it said for Wes, you know. And then they named one of the characters after Wes Craven, too, which was really cool. And then, you know, the main sisters were named Carpenter, obviously, for John Carpenter. And I sort of don't like that, like, Gail didn't kill the chick. Like, she came running back, and then the one sister shot her in the head, which I guess makes sense, because each of the sisters got to kill one of the killers, you know what I mean? Like, the main girl killed the boyfriend, and then the other sister got to kill the crazy chick, you know, and she's the one who attacked her at the beginning of the movie, because the boyfriend was all the way in California, you know what I mean? So, she got revenge on her. But I would have preferred if Gail got to do the final blow, but it's okay. She had that good moment where she's like, fuck you, and then shoots her, you know. But yeah, I mean, oh, and I'm surprised too, they killed Deputy Hicks, or should I say Sheriff Hicks. I did not expect that. I was glad to see her come back. It's just, man, that was brutal. I felt bad for her. She seemed like a very sweet mom, you know, and then her son, which I don't know why. I felt like the son would have been, he was my first guess. I don't know why. Something about that actor, because he's a, you know, sort of popular on 13 Reasons Why. Like, I've sort of felt like he might be the killer. Like, when they first, like, showed the trailer. I don't know why. I just sort of pointed towards him, but that was sad to see him die like that. But yeah, overall, like 8 out of 10 I think I'm sitting on. I think I might have discussed all the spoilers I wanted to talk about. But like I said, I was pleasantly surprised with seeing, you know, like Billy and Dead Meat, and then, you know, Randy's sister, which might not be like a big deal, but she was in Scream 3, which I love Scream 3, you know. So it was cool seeing that, you know. But yeah, that's it. I've been going on for a while now. Let me know what you thought of the movies in the comments. And again, leave your ranking. So that's it. That's been Scream. I'm just going to call it Scream. I'm not going to say, you know, the title I wanted it to be. But I'm fine with it being called Scream now. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. And have a good one. Bye-bye.